want you to know how unrealistic and how insulting offers like this are. I don't normally do these types of vlogs, but I feel today that it is really important that I get on camera and educate the people within our industry and also people outside of our industry looking to hire us, the damages that you can do by certain requests and by accepting certain requests as well. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to damage anybody's reputation. I don't want to insult anybody. And I also want to preface this with, even though I am trying to educate people outside and inside of our industry, I want you to understand that you, the person watching this, the person sitting here right here saying, I want to get into this industry, or I am an amateur, or I am a professional, you ultimately can decide if this job is the right fit for you. Maybe you're trying to get your foot in the door into a certain industry and make your name known. This could be the right opportunity for you. Maybe you just bought your first camera and this is your very first paid gig and you have absolutely no portfolio whatsoever, but you have experience shadowing somebody. This could be the opportunity for you. But I feel it's really important to take a step back and kind of educate this specific instance and why me and many professionals within our industry and even amateurs within our industry find requests like this very insulting, and why we need to speak up about this. If we do not talk about this, if we do not educate you, there will be requests like this constantly. There's still going to be requests like this every day, but it helps to know when to say no. It helps to understand when requests become unreasonable and when to stay away from companies, from individuals, and from brands that are known to request items like this. And if you're a business or a brand that are making these requests, you need to understand that this is also damaging our industry. And I understand that everybody has a budget and maybe this is the only budget that you have, but you need to understand and be educated onto what your expectations should be so that you are not coming across as insulting to people within our industry. We all want to work hard. We all want to make good money. And we're all out here supporting ourselves, our families, our businesses, our careers. And by taking jobs like this or seeing jobs like this constantly, you're hurting us. You're hurting our industry and you're actually making people lose their jobs because of this. So I'll say it one last time. If you think that this job is for you, please, by all means, take it. But it is my job as a professional in this industry to educate, to help you understand the downfalls of taking jobs like this. So we've got a request here from one of our forums from Facebook that came in, and it reads as this: we are hiring one skilled individual, not a team or a crew, a solo individual, to handle both photography and video, to capture a trade show from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And I'll also, even though I'm blurring out a lot of these because, again, I don't want to mention names or anybody, this is actually a very large trade center. And in order to get a booth there, you have to have some serious money. Some of these booths start at only $5,000. And I know that each trade show is different. And they all have different price points, but this is this is the largest event center in my area. This is a $500 one-day project, ideal for a solo freelancer experienced in event coverage, expos, or corporate activations. Now, stopping right there, $500 for one day's worth of work in that regards is not necessarily unreasonable. I've seen people take it all the time. And in fact, I've actually taken jobs like this whenever I really needed the money. To go out there and film for an entire day, these event coverages and trade shows are relatively easy. You stay at your booth, you go walk around with a camera, with a monopod or a gimbal, capture what you can and hand over the footage at the end of the day and then wash your hands of it. So to me, $500 for this request is not unreasonable. In fact, I think that would be fantastic for anybody that is looking to, get into the trade show industry, to get into the corporate industry. Somebody that might just have their first kit, their lighting kit, or their first camera. I think this is a fantastic opportunity in that regard, but let's go a little bit deeper. What we need from you, solo. Again, they mentioned solo again to clarify that they only can afford one person. Booth and event coverage. Realtor interactions to record 20 to 30 short testimonial style clips, 30 to 60 seconds of realtors engaging at our booth. Again, this is not unreasonable. I'm already there all day. To ask to record these types of things, not a big deal. All of these requests, it doesn't matter like what you want while I'm there. As I always tell my clients, look, stack on as much as you possibly can, right? I'm there for the day. Get what you can, do FAQs, do talking heads, do testimonials, do a podcast, capture as much B-roll, do product demonstrations, do meet the staff, whatever you can, right? Because I'm there to freelance for you and you're going to be doing the editing at the end of the day. So stack on as much as you possibly can because it's a major cost for us to come out there. Action photos, 50 candid shots of attendees scanning the QR codes, speaking with our team, and watching demos. Again, not unrealistic expectations there. Quick headshots, take branded portraits of realtors or attendees. Now, this is kind of where we start to get into the realm of unrealistic expectations. When you are asking us to do solo trade show event coverage, we're typically expecting to just film what's going on and happening. And it's not necessarily bad to ask for headshots, but when you're doing this by yourself, those are two totally different sets of equipment. Now, gear has come a long way, and when I do trade shows, I typically don't bring my flashes because I don't need to. One light will typically take care of most headshots, interview lighting, and anything else that I need. Most of the time, I don't even bring my lighting for trade shows because we just use whatever natural light that we can. But if we're trying to spiff it up a little bit more, then I'll bring maybe one or two lights. And then if I got a crew member with me, then we can bring more. But typically it is what it is. If somebody that is starting out at this price point, they're not going to have a powerful light. Like my light cost over $1,000 plus the modifier for another $250. Now you can get a cheaper light for about $400, $500, but then you still got to get the modifier, you still got to get a C stand or a light stand. And then you got to have power. So maybe you don't have power at your booth. So now you got to have a battery power to power it. If you are a solo freelancer in this regard, maybe you don't have the equipment to handle that. So now you need to have a flash. So that's more equipment that you got to bring in for this single job. Okay. Again, I'd say we're starting to teeter on the realm of unrealistic expectations right there. But if they don't need the lights or they don't need super, super high quality headshots, this isn't a big deal. We can take the headshots. Short interviews, record 5 to 6 quick 1 to 2 minute interview clips with a handheld reporter mic. They will supply the mic if needed. Again, I'm there all day to do these on the street style interviews. It's not a big deal. I'm all for it. B-roll, light ambient footage of the expo floor and crowd atmosphere. Okay, so going through all of that, $500, I'd be a little hesitant, especially about the headshots, because that's a lot of headshots. And if you've ever taken headshots, they can take a while because people aren't happy with them. And I get it that if it's a trade show, they're trying to get in as many people as they can to update their website. But to me, that specific request is now becoming a little bit unrealistic because they're really trying to jam in and say, hey, you know what? Maybe let's try and get everything that we need at this trade show, at this event center for our website, for our social media. Let's go ahead and update all realtor headshots. Let's go ahead and do all of this. Let's go ahead and do that. I mean, it's not unreasonable. I'm there all day anyways. Might as well, but I'd be a little hesitant about that because that does take up a lot of time and all of their requests are starting to stack on. We've already wasted about 1 to 2 hours filming their short form testimonial style clips. There's another hour's worth of the 5 to 6 short interview, like on the street style videos. But then the headshots is really what takes a while. I mean, it's a whole setup. And when you get set up and then something else happens, you got to move to there, you got to come back and do another headshot, or you got 20 people lined up, but then a VIP client comes over and they want to do a quick testimonial for them. So now you got to change all of your settings, come all the way back. That is a lot of work right there. But again, if you're new to the industry or you just got your first kit and you think you can handle it, I think it'd be a fantastic opportunity for you. Now let's delve into the realm of extreme, unrealistic expectations, the deliverables. Wait, you mean we got to deliver this project too? Yes. Their request is to do editing. So not only are you being a hybrid photographer and videographer, you are also required to do all the editing. So immediately, just off of that request alone, before even looking at the deliverables, it has now become unrealistic and not a job that I would take, even if I was beginning in this industry. The deliverables are all raw photos and video clips within 48 hours. 25 short vertical social media clips. Right there, the 25 short social media clips is already extremely unrealistic. If we break this down into a cost point, that's $20 per reel. Now, if I was to do that by myself and I was just a content creator, yeah, that's easy money. It takes, let's just say, an average of 5-10 minutes per reel. Let's even break that down further. Let's just say 5 minutes. It takes 5 minutes to import a video, no editing whatsoever, color correct it a little bit, throw in a graphic, throw in a logo at the end, throw in some music. 5 minutes. That's to import and render, plus an additional 2 to 3 minutes to upload and to send out the emails, okay? So not only are we importing the footage, we are editing the footage, we are rendering and exporting the footage, then we are re-uploading the footage. That takes about 5 to 7 minutes per clip, okay? So already right there, we're in way past the unrealistic expectations. This would be an additional cost on top of the filming, because we're already there for 8 hours. I'm sorry, 9 hours. 8 to 5 is 9 hours. I didn't see a time for break, but I'm going to assume that there is a time for break in there. I just hope that they counted on having a break or a lunch break. 50 edited photos. Not super unrealistic. That's not a big deal, especially whenever it comes to B-roll. If you're just kind of walking around capturing as much as you possibly can as a hybrid shooter, 50 photos for an 8-hour day, not super unrealistic. But again, it's going to take you about an hour to edit all of those photos if I'm being conservative about that. It would take me a little bit longer to edit those because we just hold ourselves to a higher standard. But again, I'm equating this to a industry beginner or an amateur. Or, an intermediate person. It might take them a little bit longer, might take them a little bit less. It all depends. Maybe they just shoot JPEGs and say, hey, here you go, put on a LUT and filter and export it. That's probably what I would do in this situation. But 50 photos, not unrealistic. Now, what becomes unrealistic is, are those 50 photos the headshots? Am I editing the headshots as well? That becomes unrealistic, because when they do that, I can't tell you how many times that I would send out a headshot and then they come back and say, oh, well, they don't like their hair, or can they see other options, or can you do this? So you're not editing 50 headshots. You're editing actually like 60 to 75 of the same damn headshots, okay? One short highlight reel, 1 to 2 minutes long. Now, this is way past the realm of unrealistic expectations. A 1 to 2 minute edited recap highlight reel. Do you have any idea how long that takes? That takes me an average of 4 to 6 hours per event. Not only do we have to go through all 8 hours of footage that we just captured, we also have to put it together in a sequence that makes sense. If we captured voiceovers, audios, testimonials, anything like that, how are we going to tell the story? Now, maybe you say, Josh, they only just want a visual highlight recap. Okay, great. That still takes 2 to 3 hours to put together, because it's going to take me 20 to 25 minutes to find a song. And that's being conservative. Everybody in this industry can tell you the longest part of any project starts by finding the right song, because the right song makes or breaks every single project. I kid you not, I have spent hours, not minutes, hours, shifting through my sites looking for the right song. And when you think that you finally find the right song, you get to the chorus, nope, isn't gonna work. It's not the right melody, it's not the right tone, it's not the right mood, the vibe that your business, that your brand, that your event put off that day. And then, here's the kicker. You edit it all together. You send it to your client, they come back and say, we don't like the song. Can we change the song? And so now you're stuck back at beginning this all over again, and you have to do the entire edit all over again because the song is what you edit it to. A 1 to 2 minute recap highlight is extremely unrealistic, and now we have entered into the realm of insulting, because this is going to take a minimum of 2 to 3 hours, and that is not including the time that it is going to take for re-edits, re-exports, and re-uploads. Insulting and unrealistic is what this expectation is. Overnight, 2 to 3 photos and 1 short edited clip of 30 to 45 seconds by 8 a.m. the next day. We are beyond the realm of insulting and unrealistic. If you go at 8 o'clock in the morning, ready to shoot, what time did you wake up? What time did you leave your house? Let's take a national average of about 45 minutes to an hour. That's the average commute time to and from work is about an hour. That means you woke up at 6 to leave by 7 to get there by 8. This is one of the largest event conference centers in my area. Do you have any idea how big this conference center is? There are 6 different venue halls, and you have to park in a parking garage, load everything in. You have to get your badge, you have to get the right credentials, and you have to hunt down the booth. Sometimes you have to make multiple trips. Again, you're by yourself. No crew, no assistant, no nothing. By yourself, hauling everything through those garage centers, through the halls, back and forth, because one person said, yeah, hall D. The next person said, nope, hall A. You're gonna go to the back. Security will stop you if you don't have your press badge. So let's be realistic and say you get there at 7:30, 7:20. You woke up at 5:30 now. By the time you wrap up, it's 5 o'clock. By the time you put up all of your equipment, walk back to your car, it is now conservatively 5:30 or 6 o'clock. Still got to travel. So you won't get home until 7 or 7:30. That is being conservative. You have a family. Maybe you're by yourself. You just want to decompress and relax for a little bit. Nope, you can't, because they need this overnighted. The 1 to 2 photos, not a big deal. Cool. The edited video, if it was by itself, not a big deal. I understand that. By the time you import all the footage, find the song, render, export, and upload, it is 9 o'clock and you still haven't eaten dinner. I'm assuming you ate lunch. I hope you ate lunch. I hope you had a break in there. 9 o'clock. From 8 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, you have been on the clock. Is $500 worth it? I don't think so. What you'll need: a DSLR and mirrorless camera capable of both photo and video, a tripod or gimbal for steady shots, a basic lighting kit for quick headshots and interviews, a wireless or handheld mic we can provide if needed, laptop or other quick transfer solution for delivery. This is meant for a solo freelancer who can confidently handle both shooting and basic editing on their own. No full production team is needed. Just strong, clean event coverage. Guys, if y'all are just entering into this industry, if you are just beginning, stay away from this. Now, I will go back and remind everybody what I said previously. If you need the money, if you are just starting out and you think this is a good deal for you, please take it. You ultimately can decide yes or no. But it is my job as an industry professional for over 15 years dealing with clients like this, dealing with production shoots like this. I know what this all entails. At the end of the day, you are actually paying them to do this shoot. Let's go on a conservative figure and say you bought a $1,200 camera. It's about what they go for nowadays to be considered a amateur, hobbyist, enthusiast, professional. Lenses cost about, let's just say on the low end, $400, $500. I've got lenses that cost $2,000 and more. But now you need audio. That's another $200 on the lower end. A good light, you can buy a semi-decent light for, $100, $200. Softbox, tripod, light stand, SD cards, batteries. How many batteries do you think it's going to take you to last all 8 hours? 2, 3, 4, 5? If you're Sony, you might need more. Just kidding. What about your editing software? How much do you pay each month for that? Is it free? What about music? You think music is free? No, that's called copyright. You need royalty-free music, and if you don't have a subscription to those sites or you're not paying per song, you are illegally taking their music. Where are you going to host it? How are you going to transfer it? How are you going to transfer that much footage to your client? You have Dropbox, WeTransfer, Google Suite? That costs money. What about gas? How much did you pay in gas to get there? You drove an hour. I'd say probably about 2 tanks worth, 3 tanks worth maybe. What about parking? Major event centers like this charge about $20 for parking. Sometimes even more. I've gotten charged $40 for parking. What about food while you're there? You gonna eat? The client gonna pay for it? Probably not. Sometimes they do. And I'll tell you, trade show event food, that's expensive. 15, 20 bucks for just a crappy hamburger and some fries, maybe a drink. I'm disgusted that a request like this even come through, but I get it. You have a budget, you have the demand. Maybe it wasn't even you that made the request. Maybe your boss made the request. I want you to know how unrealistic and how insulting offers like this are. Whether you are new to the industry or whether you are an experienced professional. For this specific request, an iPhone. Even then, $1,000 for that iPhone. You'd have to do 3 jobs of this caliber to even pay off the equipment, the software, just to do this job. Would you do this 3 times? No. So please, educate yourself as a brand, as an industry professional, as an industry amateur, as an industry entrant. Educate yourself. And I feel that it was my job today to come up here and say that. Because if I don't, requests like this will continue happening. And people like you will continue to accept them, thinking that it's your only option. The power of no is a powerful, powerful tool in your arsenal. You are in control, not them, you. Thanks for watching.